black welders, we have to build our own, or no one is going to fully let us in and treat us fairly. If we think that the system, if we think that these jobs, these contractors, these people are just going to let us in and just eat with no problem, it's not going to happen. Even when, a lot of us come in and we depend on, well, I got this contract now, and this contract is helping me get to this next level, and you getting all your work from this other contractor, but if he shut down, what are you doing? You ain't creating your own leads. You don't have your own cash flow. You relying on someone else. Yes, you got the insurance, you pay for this and that and that, and then it seems like, a lot of us get lazy. Now I'm just eating off of them, so if they cut me off, I'm hungry again. You see what I'm saying? Now there's nothing wrong with networking with anyone, but we have to build our own source of networking, our own source of income. Like, we have to literally create our own leads, create our own carpool of networking, carpool of like a staffing agency, pretty much, where we utilize our sources between one another. Say it's 4 welding companies, and all of us network and we travel or whatever. One may need someone. Okay, hey, they need some help over here. We send for 10, 20 welders over there to help you finish your product. Vice versa, we keep that carpool going. We always helping one another. You see what I'm saying? You got something you need to build, instruct. Hey man, I would rather call y'all than go through them. We just got to take care of our own. We know that we're willing to help our own, no problem. We just want to win. We don't have to win like, like the man's trying to beat you. We just want to eat too. You see what I'm saying? So don't be selfish with your people. Make sure they eating too. Me personally, I want to make sure everybody eating thousands, eating millions at the table with me, because that way I'm not worried about nobody trying to take my little million or my little thousand, because they eating the same as I am or more. It's all based on a person hustle. I'm not despising the guy hustle that ate a million at the table, and my hustle got me a $250,000. That's what my hustle got me. I got to amp my game up. I got to ask him a couple questions. Maybe he knows something I don't know, so I can sharpen up. But I'm not gonna hate on what he's doing. I feel like we really got to come together. Like, we got to form a community of black independent welders, LLC companies, contractors, where we networking with one another, forming a source. You know what I mean? Where we're calling for advice, where we're sending one another jobs, where we're keeping a source going, but we got our own cash flow. You see what I'm saying? Everybody got their independent cash flow, their own products, their own services that they're providing on whatever platform it is. You know what I mean? Because to me, I think being an entrepreneur, you should never get comfortable with eating a certain way. You should always have more than one way to feed yourself, because we don't know. The economy is uncertain. Things go up, down, up, down. You know what I'm saying? So we have to find a stable, our stability, is in us having multiple sources of ways to eat, multiple sources of ways to hustle, where we know that, okay, if this happened, okay, that's fine. Then I'm going to work on this. I got this going too. You know what I mean? So once we get our income up, one thing I noticed, once you get your income up and you get your priorities in line, that's important, because sometimes we get our income up and then we want to do stuff we never did, and there's nothing wrong with it. But sometimes there's a time for this and a time for that. Right now, it ain't time to go on that trip, because you need to flip that $1,500. You see what I'm saying? You got to wait on the trip. You still can go, but you got to take care of your priorities. So, there's a mix into this. So just to throw it out there and just say, hey, I'm going to give you all this information without telling you there's truly steps involved. It's like a child just don't get out the womb and start walking. There are steps. Keep that in mind. Keep it simple like that. Because if you keep it simple like that, you'll understand the process of being an entrepreneur, the process of building your business, the process of getting yourself off the ground, because there is a process. But we can get there further and faster if we network together, if we build something together. So I feel like that's where we at right now, in this economy, with what's going on in the economy 2020. Hey, let's change something, man. Things are changing anyway. Let's make a major change, especially for the tradesmen. for the black tradesman, for the tradesman. I don't care what color you are. But I'm speaking to the black man. We need to stick together. We need to form something because there's no reason why one of us should be hungry. One of us should be not eating right if we all got skills. If we all can sit down and hold a conversation and figure, okay, you need some help over here. Okay, let's go over here and help this brother in this state. Okay, then we go back. It is what it is. If we got to travel and move around and get the bag so that way we don't have to struggle no more, hey, it is what it is. Don't get comfortable, to a extent where you feel like I don't have to hustle. I think we should always be hustling, always knocking, always learning. To me, learning and hustling is two of the same things to me. The more I learn, the more I can grind harder. The more I grind harder, the more I learn. It's like it's tied together. So, just keep that in mind when you're building your businesses because to me personally it's very important and I think it's going to be really important for us to stick together all around.